Welcome to the Meso-History, unraveling the untidy truths of the past. Like and subscribe.
The air was heavy. Still, John White stood on the shore of Roanoke in 1590. The place was a ghost, a quiet that sinks into your bones, taken apart with care. He was looking for a sign, carved deep into a wooden palisade post. Croatoan. In the summer of 1587, a single ship delivered 115 English settlers to this very shore. They sought to establish a permanent foothold in the vast, unknown American continent. These were not just soldiers or adventurers seeking fortune. They were families, men, women, and children, all looking to carve a life out of the wilderness. Their governor, John White, led the ambitious endeavor. Soon after their arrival, a symbol of hope emerged when White's own granddaughter was born. Virginia Dare, the first English child born in the New World. But that future was fragile. The colony's supplies were dangerously meager. So John White had to leave, sailing back to England for reinforcements. He promised he would return quickly. But when White reached England, he found a nation consumed by fear and preparing for total war. The Spanish Armada was coming, and all ships were seized for the defense of the realm. The settlement, once a beacon of English hope, was now just a scar on the land already starting to heal over. There was no sign of a struggle. No ash from a settlement burned to the ground. It was an orderly departure, a planned exodus. They were to carve a Maltese cross, a sign of danger. But there was no cross. The houses had been dismantled, not destroyed. Heavy items, things they could not carry, had been buried. It suggested that their departure had been voluntary. Croatoan, a word and a direction. Hatteras Island, also a people, the Croatoan. Manteo had sailed to England, an ally to the English. On Hatteras, archaeologists found European goods in native layers, brass, gun hardware, a scratched slate tablet, trade, or neighbors becoming one community. It matches White's orderly, planned departure. Another path, the Chesapeake. Powhatan later claimed his men killed English survivors there. John Smith and Strachey wrote of English among the tribes. Spain's shadow loomed. After the 1570 Aga Khan mission, patrols from Spanish Florida watched this coast. Yet at Roanoke, there's no burned palisade, no iron shot in the sand, no sign of a fight. And nature pressed hard. Tree rings mark a brutal drought, 1587 to 1589. Crops failed, wells soured. Maybe they split, some to Hatteras, some inland. The carving is the nearest voice, Croatoan. So what happened to the colonists of Roanoke? It's America's oldest cold case, a 400-year-old mystery with no bodies, no bones, and no definitive answers. Archaeologists still dig, sifting through the soil of centuries, hoping to unearth a shard of pottery or a rusted nail that might finally solve the puzzle. But the story of Roanoke remains a mystery wrapped in fog, as impenetrable as the wilderness that first greeted them. A settlement of 115 souls, a delayed rescue, a single cryptic word carved into a post. They walked out of their fort and into legend, leaving behind a profound and enduring question that still hangs over the Carolina coast. What do you think happened to the lost colony?